Welcome to the Warren Cycling Podcast. My name is Dean Warren. I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
And I'm Randy Warren, and I'm in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I've had like a long Sarasota streak, it seems, but we were off a few weeks because I was on vacation in Canada. I wasn't in Montreal or Quebec, unfortunately, though.
No, but Montreal's been getting a lot of publicity about their 2026 World Championships.
Yeah.
And I was thinking we should go.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
All right. So it is episode 366, and it's the 18th of September, and we're gonna have a mix of birthday. You got a birthday from the 18th, but our list is gonna be from the 19th.
Yeah.
But when we're on the 19th, we can also give a shout out to our parents, going to be celebrating their 65th wedding
65.
anniversary.
I know, right? 65.
All right, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess we want to talk about the World Championships. It's coming up starting Sunday. The events start in Zürich, and I have a trip to Zürich for the men's road race. So I'm planning to go to the men's road race, and I wanted to ride the circuit the last time I was there, but I couldn't find a bike to rent that day, unfortunately. So I was watching the GNC recap, so we can talk a little bit about the races that just happened and started today. The Tour of Luxembourg, which is, sometimes it's been a bigger race. Sometimes it's just there, but this year it's got more significance because of it's got a stronger field, and also a lot of riders using it to put on their finishing touches to prepare for the World Championships.
But does it end on Sunday? So anybody who's doing the time trial might not be doing it.
That I don't know. I don't think it was that many stages for some reason. But usually it would end on a Sunday. So maybe the ones that aren't doing time trial. It's got.
I remember years ago.
I think it finishes with a time trial though, or the day before a time trial, which is going to probably be the deciding factor of who wins the overall. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a 5-stage race. Stage 4 is an ITT.
Right.
So what's today?
It's not ending.
Friday.
Sunday. Yeah. Sunday. That's what they usually have working on. I forgot the day of the week. I knew the day and the date, but yeah.
So what if there's any strong time trials there? Maybe would not. No, must not.
No.
They drop out. It's only 15.5K time trial too. It's shorter.
Yeah. No, but punchers or some top contenders, perhaps, depending on what we think is going to happen with the circuit. The GNC show thought that it might not be as hard of a closing circuit as people are saying. The climbs, 1.1 kilometer at, I don't know, 7-8%, and then another 2 kilometer at 5.5%. So not real big climbs, but it's the length of the race that makes a difference. But if you think
7 times too, the circuit 7
times.
9 times.
I think 9 times.
I think 7 for the men and 4 for the women.
Let's see.
Skilmos is doing the Tour of Luxembourg, and he's a good time trialist. I'm surprised he's not representing Denmark.
But he's not a top time trialist.
No, who's representing Denmark then for the?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so what about the circuit? Well, the circuit though.
Well,
if you look at Montreal this last Sunday,
right, which had a bigger climb than Quebec.
You think that's harder than the Zürich one? I don't think so. The Zürich one seems harder, doesn't it?
Not sure.
Well,
I'm
anyway,
not sure, but I think
rode away for two laps in that one. Okay. So if it's at least as hard as, or is it similar to hard to Montreal, I think then it definitely could play out with being hard at the end. So the strongest person pulling away.
Well, I think Tadej Pogacar being the favorite because he's such a good climber and good at long one-day races too. Maybe it's not such a done deal, though. I mean, it's never a done deal.
No.
He's a strong favorite, but I think a lot of people say big favorite, and Mathieu van der Poel, saying, it's maybe too much timing.
But he said he's also lost some kilos, and he's trying to do, and he just won today.
Yeah, he looked really good winning today.
Yeah, and he said that he's going to do everything he can to try and repeat too, and so I would. Yeah,
and then Mads Pedersen and Mathieu van der Poel were trying as much as they could to try to get away in the European Championship road race. which the Italian team were so dedicated to bring it back, and they worked very well together to get it to set up Jonathan Milan. But he has trouble getting boxed in, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah,
So he
really
didn't
like 7.
unleash his. Yeah, he didn't finish. But Tim Miller had a great sprint.
Yeah. So the Belgian lead out fell apart. He jumped on
They
the
had
Italian
two lead outs. They had two lead outs.
Yeah.
One for Jasper Philipsen, one for Tim Miller. So,
but
but Olaf Koy, he's been riding really well too.
Yes.
He was second, but yeah. Whew. Yeah, and that's got to be a more important race when it first started, not that many years ago. It didn't seem as big a deal, but it's growing in prestige.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Olympic road race in a way. I didn't think the Olympic road race
didn't used to be.
Didn't quite. Yeah.
Now it is though. You're right.
Yeah.
Much more prestigious now to win. It used to be they'd said it was way more important to win a world championship or even a classic race than the Olympics, and it still may be more important to win a world championship, maybe. But now it's definitely. Now you just saying maybe though.
Right. Right.
How much it's come up. Certainly, it's better than most classic races. Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, if you won Flanders or something, or if you're a cobble specialist who won Roubaix, then certainly, I don't know. Yeah, it's way up there though for sure. I think you're right though. It's gained a lot more prestige, and I think you're right too. The European Nationals, or not Nationals, the European Championships, the first was like, who won that? Or oh, he won. I didn't realize that person. Yeah, but now it's like we're paying attention too.
Sure. And Eduardo Affini hadn't won in some years, and he won the time trial. So.
Right. But he had.
And Italians got first and third. Cantaneo was third, wasn't it?
Yeah, Affini, he's shown potential for sure. I think so. Yeah, like to win that kind of a race too, but not. Yeah, I mean, he was knocking on the door. Seemed like and had a great ride.
Right. Well, early in the year, I would have thought any race that Josh Tarling started, he'd be winning. How well he was going, but he's had some hiccups, right?
Yeah, he's had issues in a lot of races. I think didn't he in the European Championships he had something happen too, didn't it?
I didn't read about it, but it could be.
Yeah.
But he'll be.
He still did well, but
yeah. And Filippo Ganna too. I always thought, wow, man, he's just going to win almost every time trial too, but he hasn't done that either. So, but they'll be focusing for sure on the one, which is a whole week before. It used to be like Wednesday before, right? Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. Now the men's and the women's both on the same day on this coming Sunday, the 22nd.
Yeah, they give more races its own day now. They used to combine all the time trials on the same day, but now they give more of their own day, and they have the time trial relay race too. So they're trying to stretch it out for a whole week.
And the pair of world championships haven't always been together, have they?
This is the first time ever. Yeah.
And they have so many categories, so they're spread out the whole week.
Yeah, that's exciting too, for sure.
Yeah, I used to have lots of trips to Zurich, and the time trials are starting at the velodrome right near in Oerlikon, right near where we used to stay. I walked over and looked at the velodrome before, but we don't stay there. Yeah, we still stay in Oerlikon, but I won't be there on that day. Actually, I had to take the trip out of a different base because we quit flying out of my home base earlier this month, which was a pity.
Did you switch your base? How'd you do that?
No, I can do out of base pickups rather. If someone's going to get rid of the trip and nobody wants it from that base, I can take it. So yeah.
Really, Zurich wasn't a hot property then, huh? Not like Nice was.
That it was. I took the language position. So.
Oh. So
yeah. So weather ahead of time is kind of far away. Might be some rainy and cloud, but it's going to be interesting because Mads Pedersen, all the big guys are going to be up there like they were last year in Glasgow, but maybe Tadej has the edge now because of the climb. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and he took a break after the tour, and he said
long break. Like, wow.
Yeah, 8
weeks.
Really, he got a lot of criticism that people were really mad at him for not doing the Olympics. And he's like, I was destroyed because I was so tired from the Olympics, or the Tour de France.
All those... and my girlfriend didn't get selected.
Yeah, and Evenepoel actually said the same thing, but he still did race pretty well. But then also too, he came back strongly this weekend in both Quebec and Montreal. And in Quebec, he thinks he could have won.
Yeah.
He said he just made a mistake, but because it was he attacked and then the defending
Arnaud Delis.
Arnaud Delis was with him. Plus two of Delee's teammates.
A lot of Destiny guys.
So it was a great move for them. But Tadej said he could have pushed that one and attacked again, but he decided to wait, and that it ended up being a bad move for all the group.
Yeah. No, but it's good for his good friend Michael Matthews.
Yeah,
they're pretty good friends, and he won his third. Got the most wins there in Quebec now.
Yeah, Matthews. Did you see he dropped out of the Montreal race? And
because he gave him a high five. Low five. Yeah.
I
saw that.
Last time the hill. So
I was at Quebec one time, and it's a tricky course there because of the finish. There's some climb like earlier, like you can go too early and easily fade out easily. So you got to really time it well. So someone like Michael Matthews, that's won before. It's always like Flesh Ballon too. It's like it's a different kind of finish, but you can go too early and you got to really time it well. So
the Quebec race, it's like I think at least 1.7K or something like that is a pretty steep pitch, and so everybody thinks like they can go then, but it's just way too early. Yeah.
And Matteo Jorgensen tried to go way early. Jorgensen, which he doesn't need to anymore.
And he said that he also tried to go with Tadej when he went in Montreal too. And it was just
nobody can go with Tadej when he makes that attack after the pace is set like UAE Emirates did. So
although it has happened in Mont San Remo though, where they
it wasn't. They didn't stretch it out enough.
They tried to, but there's no as much. This is a harder race for sure than Mont San Remo before the finish. So. Apparently the World Championship course in 26 uses most of this course too, with a little bit extra, and that's what they used in 74 when Merckx won the Tour, the Giro, and the World Championships in Montreal.
So how does the Vuelta feel about not being part of the Triple Crown to win the Giro, the Tour, and the World Championships? Is like,
I guess maybe no one's done it before, so because it used to be the Volta was before before the Giro actually, so you could have won, but now it's afterwards, so it would be maybe not. It's maybe harder, but maybe not because
I mean you could win the Tour, the Volta, and the World Championships, and what would they call that then? No big deal because you didn't win the Giro, the Tour.
Well, when Merckx and Roche won the Giro, the Tour, and the World Championships was in August. It was shortly after the
closer.
Tour. So it would kind of be like the Tour, the Volta, and then the World Championships.
That should be the Triple Crown.
Like I said, maybe no one's done it. So they'll be the first. If someone be the first person, then they'd be the original, and they would do something that Merckx hadn't done then too, maybe.
So what do you think the dynamics are though with Primoz Roglic? He's doing both the time trial and the road race, so he'll be Tadej Pogacar's teammate. But we've seen how Roglic races with teammates that could win. Like Roglic hadn't won a one-day race in quite a while. And he did well at the Vuelta despite all circumstances.
And he won the Olympic time trial right in the previous one too. So he's won time trial championships like that. But
how is he going to be in the road race? What kind of teammate is he going to be for Tadej? I mean, they've got a strong team, and they're going to be looked at as the favorite to chase down things. I think Belgium's going to be really hurting not having the two top riders like Wout van Aert and Remco Evenepoel, but Evenepoel he can go long too, and then so he goes long, and then Tadej's there, and Primoz is there, and like, all right, who's going to be the one that's going to chase him down or follow him?
And Roglic has said, a lot of people have said too, that that's a little bit more of an individual race than a team race sometimes for the World Championships, just because of the way it's it's the way it plays out.
So Roglic might be not having fewer chances the rest of his career to win a World Championship. Tadej Pogacar might not have a chance again to get the Triple Crown. Of course, in 2 years, he might have another chance to win World Championship in Montreal.
Right, and mimic Merckx, I mean, many times, too, the Italian team has been accused of not working well as a team together, too, and they've had multiple people that could win the race, too, kind of like, in a way, But and they've not won it because
Spain done that too. Spain is I thought when Kwiatkowski won and
yeah, possibly too.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, because you have trade team loyalties, you got national team loyalties, you've got individual ambitions. A lot goes on in the World Championships, And we would actually the U.S. too. I mean, we have
McNulty should be pretty strong in the time trial as well, but Mateo Jorgen, he's showing that he's got good form to be right up there.
Yeah,
he just has to manage, I guess, his efforts in the best way possible, because he's just not gonna right away like Tadej Pogacar can. So tactically, maybe,
right. He might, he could, He's certainly, if there's something, and people marked each other out before too. So it has happened when many times, surprise winners have come about in the World Championships because the favorites have marked themselves out or missed a move that they should have gone, or been too confident in something else, and so so it could happen. So, but I think if an American would make a podium in either race, really, I think Chloe's. They said the time trial course is pretty hard, especially for a pure power person, which I don't think Chloe is pure power, more so, but I think she has a good chance to defend her title. But the road race, for sure, if she was on the podium, that'd any American. Well, I mean, it's hard to say.
Faulkner. What about Kristen Faulkner?
Yeah. I mean, and even Ruth Edwards has won some races this year too.
Yeah, so. I just saw she was racing in Stuttgart a few days ago.
Oh yeah.
She didn't finish that high, but I thought, Stuttgart, I could have done a Stuttgart trip. And I was on vacation. So I had a great vacation in the Canadian Rockies. Wow, it was Banff area. It's beautiful. Yeah. So, wow.
But so as far as American podiuming, and maybe in other, juniors or U23.
U23.
Yeah. But if certainly if American man in the elite race podium, that'd be fantastic. Or even in top 5.
I mean, Nielsen Paulus has been close the last couple of years to getting top. He's got what, 6?
6, yeah, which is great.
Yeah,
and he's not right. He's not having his best year this year for sure. But so seems like he's back in decent shape. But so if he if he did have a good result in this race, that would kind of save his year, because he hasn't had the best year for sure. So and McNulty's had a good year,
right?
Morgansen's had a good year. So
I mean, McNulty always, like, with his time trialing ability, for him, to be able to get up the road, can use that time trialing to, because it's going to be the last part of the circuit. It's kind of flat, so
it's a pretty tough circuit. But very, very,
yeah.
And Jorgensen's time trialing great too. I mean, 4th in the tour time trial, the final tour one. So it's I think it should be a good race for sure. I mean, I hope it is. I hope it isn't that Tadej just rides off, with 2 laps left in solos the whole time. That'll be, because I mean, the only thing that made Matteo Van der Poel's last year when he crashed out the front by himself, they made it a little more exciting. But otherwise, when he took off, it was kind of like not as exciting after that too, because he had a pretty good gap, set so big that he could crash and still get back up and still win solo. That makes it nice. But that Evan Poole wins a lot like that, and Tadej wins a lot like that too. So it could be anticlimactic for sure, but it could be a good race too.
Sure.
It'll be tough because I'm gonna be traveling too then, so I'm gonna have to. I won't be able to be watching it quite as easily as normally. But I did see that it's on Flow Bikes, so in America even. So I don't have to use the VPN. So
yeah, well, I'll just have to. I mean, being there on the course, sometimes you miss a lot.
Yeah,
and it's better to go back.
Big screen TV, it's easier, but
but those are usually the more crowded places too. I'm gonna try to be on one of those climbs on the last circuit.
Yeah,
and then get down towards the finish area as I can.
Yeah, and get next to somebody with a phone that's got a good signal and watch it.
I get pretty good data on my phone, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, wow, that's the World Championship. That's still over a week and a half away. The men's road race.
For the road race, yeah. Yep.
The women's elite road race will be the day before on the Saturday.
Although I'm a little surprised too that in the time trial, the men and women are doing a different distance, because the Olympics are the exact same distance.
Yeah, the women are doing 29.9 and the men 46.1.
yeah, the U23 men are doing the 29, the junior are doing 24.
24.9, yeah.
Yeah, and there's no U23 women yet. I forget when they're going to start that. They're going to start it next year or the year after maybe, but it is coming up. They're going to start it, but yeah, not yet.
It's Ashland Berry.
Ashland Berry, yeah.
He's going to be doing his first junior worlds, right?
Yeah, probably. I looked briefly at the list. I don't have it in front of me now, but let me look and see.
But he's not even 18 yet, right? He's
17, I think. Yeah.
race age.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
to Luxembourg, it'll be fun to watch the rest of those days to see who's coming up before. Julian Alaphilippe had a good finish up in Montreal, so I guess he's always a wild card. Christophe Laporte, though. Right. Yeah, Christophe Laporte, though, they're riding well today in Luxembourg, so he'll be good. Sprinters they climb a lot better than they used to. A lot of sprinters do, but I can't imagine any of the real fast guys will be there. But man, Pedersen and Vanderpool are pretty fast in the sprint. So
very fast, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what else? What did we miss in the last 2 weeks? We missed the rest of the Vuelta. I mean, we didn't talk about the finish of the Vuelta, but it was the inevitable that we kept thinking was going to happen, that Ben O'Connor was looking like he could slip a little bit in those. I mean, he held on for second, though. I was impressed with that, and he had a good time trial that he didn't really fall off. Yeah. He hung really tough. So, and Roglic lost his teammates to sickness, and he might have probably been not feeling 100% as well.
He was not feeling. I read an article today that said that he was not feeling well, and he went to the bathroom 20 times that day, and they didn't celebrate his win even because the whole team was not feeling good. So it was more credit to him again for not succumbing to, he was sick, and he still did a good time trial. So he was second, so not, he didn't win, but Stefan Kung had a good time trial, which he was, and he did a ton of work earlier in the race too. But he said that having the time trial be the end, he really felt like as long as he took that second to last day easy, which he did, then he was able to work hard before that and was a great teammate, and then was still able to win. So he's, an outside favorite he was outside favorite for both the European one, which he didn't win. Second, I think that one, right? He got a lot of seconds. And then he was, an outside hope for the World Championships too.
Yeah. When Art crashed out.
Oh, in both.
I just felt deflated about the whole rest of the race, because he was just making it exciting. I mean, he was really lighting it up. It's kind of, he did the Tour de France a few years ago where he was pretty much lighting it up. Like Mathieu van der Poel, that one Giro, he was really active at lighting it. Yeah. Even at the beginning of the Tour, the one year where he dropped out, where he just did the first week. But Mathieu van der Poel, I mean, his first win at Luxembourg today was his first win since Paris-Roubaix. So that's like a long time ago in April. You would expect someone as good as him in one of the Grand Tours would win a stage or be, I don't know. I mean, because he did cyclocross and then had a tough spring campaign for him to come back. But he just, if the other rider is his stature, I think he would do at least well in one Grand Tour, get one stage win somewhere.
Yeah, he was helping mostly, being a lead out person so, which he did a great job at that and stuff. But yeah, he didn't, wasn't targeting those, but still, and he did have a good spring. I mean, he won Flanders and Roubaix, so
an amazing spring, yeah.
So, it's natural even for someone that good to have a little bit of a down period. But even during his down period, he was still extremely useful for his team and doing lead outs and stuff too. So. Yeah, it's
I think
it is a long time. So
I think we have to mention we're kind of talking about guys that would do well at the world's men's road race. Mark Hirschi is someone that's got to come up, because he's going to be in Switzerland. He's won like 5 races in a row. I mean, just really crazy good lately. So yeah.
Yeah. And he said earlier too that he needs to kind of step it up now too. He's 25, I think, or he seems like he's been racing for 27 maybe. He's still pretty young. He seems like he's racing for a really long time because he did so well early in his career. But yeah, he feels like now's the time to really take advantage of being fit. And
he's 26.
26. Oh,
yeah, just had a birthday about a month ago.
Okay, so maybe I was thinking that last time I saw it was 25, but
right.
Yeah, he's definitely a threat there for sure.
Yeah, well, Van Aert, I'm sure he's thinking about next year already now because he's done racing this year, but he's turned 30 now, and even though it's probably maybe a tougher course for him too, like Mathieu van der Poel for Worlds, but I'm sure he would love to have a road world championship too. So, but at 30, man, he's starting to get up there. But he signed a forever contract, so he can race as long as he wants, I guess. And that's amazing though. I know Alpecin Deceuninck has locked up Mathieu van der Poel for a long time.
Yeah.
Canyon, but Wout van Aert, it's really great to see him be able to race and have a contract and stay with the team as long as he wants. And I think it's a fair reward for someone who's not only raced so well, but I think just his whole personality and his character is so strong that it's good to see someone like that to be able to be rewarded, to not have to worry about looking for a contract and be taken care of.
Yeah, the article I read too reminded me that there was some controversy when he joined that program. So he broke a contract with someone else.
He did, yeah.
And then Mathieu van der Poel, they also he did not break. He stayed with a team that was a second division team.
Yeah.
And they got more sponsorship and raised up too. So they both had some interesting paths to their career. And yeah, it's more teams are trying to lock people up longer term because it's tough. And then
which wasn't used to be at all.
No. Do you see Simon Yates is going to be on Visma Lease bike next year too?
Jan Traknik has gone over to Red Bull.
Yeah.
Which now they've got a Grand Tour win. They're bolstering their roster, and that's one of the guy that used to race with Primos. But yeah,
more Slovenians. So.
Yeah. But Yates, I was gonna say, Slovenians won all the Grand Tours this year.
Yes.
And that there were 8 different podium people. I didn't even think about that. Only Tadej Pogacar was a repeat podium person in the Giro and the Tour. All the other podiums were by different riders.
Yeah. You see, the Pidcock suffered a concussion at the Tour of Britain, but he didn't do the races this last weekend in Canada, but he is going to do the World Championships.
Didn't see that. Yeah, the Yates brothers will be there, right? Adams had a strong year. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be good. You had some recent success at the Gran Fondo Nationals, right? You had gravel nationals in Nebraska. You went all the way to Nebraska. You drove there, right?
No, I flew to Omaha, and then one of my athletes picked me up in Omaha, and we drove. So it was like 7 hours from Omaha to Gearing, Nebraska, small towns. It's Scottsbluff and Gearing are sister cities, twin cities along the Platte River. Yeah, but it's pretty quiet town, and both of them. But it was a good event again. Apparently it was a little drier last year. I didn't get to go because I had COVID right beforehand. But they it's pretty big fields. They don't all race together like at Unbound or something like that, although now they separate out the elite men and women in Unbound.
Is it the same place where they have the official? Is it the official gravel world championships? It's not UCI Worlds, or
that's someplace else.
Also in Nebraska.
In Nebraska, that's near. I think it's more near Lincoln.
A lot of gravel roads in Nebraska, I guess.
Yeah, yep, yeah, and it was not technical at all, and not no long climbs. Yeah, so there was.
Doesn't help you.
No, I did unfortunately though. My group raced the 17, 18-year-olds with the 50, 55, 59, 60, 64 all together. So it was like 150 of us starting together, and Chris Carlson and I were together more towards the back, and he ended up making the split and won my race, and I didn't. I missed the split, so obviously I could have done it because he did it, but I had a hard time getting up and far enough up that then the split happened early in the race, and then I stayed in the group.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to be like 30 people almost. And then we hit the only real climb. It was a paved climb actually too. Most of the course was gravel, it's probably like 85%. But there was a paved climb, and I was able to ride away from my group at that point. And then hooked up with a few people, and I went really hard for a while because I didn't want anybody coming back from the group I just dropped. And so I was willing to drive that because we still had 20 miles to go after that point. And then I won my small sprint, so I ended up ninth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost all the top 8 made the first split then.
Yeah. And we almost got the 8th place person too. So apparently he was coming back, but I he's only a few seconds ahead. So yeah, a little disappointing, but still good to be top 10. Yeah. So
yeah, that's great. But then second at Gran Fondo Nationals.
Yeah, Gran Fondo Nationals.
Which is a whole different format though, because it's time segments. Yeah.
Time segments. Yeah. And last year I flatted during a time segment and I probably would have won overall if I wouldn't have flatted there. This year I flatted again.
Man.
But not during a segment, luckily. So before the final time segment. So just like last year, I had to ride the final segment by myself. And the guy, I was 30 seconds down going that last time segment. And the guy was just turned 60, Mike Price. He's a really strong rider. Just got a few seconds on me each of the first 3 time segments. And could I beat him at the end? It's hard to say. There were a couple guys who were 40 seconds ahead of the group he was with. So maybe I could have been with that group and got it last time segment. You never know. But I rode a really strong last time segment by myself. I was actually faster than the 3rd place person who was in a group.
Wow.
So yeah, I was surprised. I was like 15 seconds faster than he was. So I did ride strongly, but I was a couple minutes slower than the person who won. So
there's not a World Gran Fondo Championship now yet, is there?
What's that? Well, it's the Masters Road Race. So World Championship Road Race is the Gran Fondo. It's because World Championships start to finish. It's not time segments. They had it this year in Denmark, and that's what I did in Italy a couple years ago. So it's part of the Gran Fondo World Series, World Cup or whatever series.
World Cup.
Like that. Yeah.
Masters Road Race.
Well, that's the Masters Road Race World Championships. Yeah.
Okay.
Because a company bought it, and so then they marketed it. That's why, like for this race, only the national champion gets the automatic bid to the World Championships. But if you do a World Qualifier, then the top 25%, because they want to encourage people to go to the World Qualifiers because that's part of their series. So
yeah.
But I can't do the one.
Too.
Yeah, it is a business. Yeah, I can't do the one next year because it's on May 18th, and I have a camp that starts May 18th. So the only one in America is a day that's So I have to either see if I can get in a large bid or if I want to go to Australia next year. So they're in Australia in October.
And you've got a Sardinia trip planned for next year?
Yeah, I already have.
Those that want to race in Sardinia, a great stage race.
Yeah, you get to be on part of an Italian team to race, Italian cycling team. It's one of those dream experiences. We go to Sardinia, but first we go to Tuscany and we spend 3 days of riding there, and then we go to Sardinia and race a 6-day stage race there. Yeah, it's a good trip for sure. So that's on warrencycling.com if you want to see that.
That's already updated.
I've not done the pricing yet. I just got pricing from my partner in Mexico and Italy, and so I need to figure that all out and stuff too. I have to get all the stuff from him. I have to translate everything over to English, and then I have to figure out, the euro pricing and then my pricing and all that kind of stuff.
And the euro is getting stronger as the Fed cut the interest rates. Now the dollar was already weakening, and now it's going to weaken it even more against the euro.
Yeah, it's always a tough thing for me because I have to guess. What the exchange rate is going to be in 6 months from now, or when people are going to pay me and stuff too. When I pay, the money in Italians in Italy. Right. So, but that's a great trip though. Fantastic. And we should have a good group this year. A lot of people are interested. So hopefully we get a really good group together. Yeah.
Taylor says he's interested to go over. My son, your nephew, Taylor.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And Ben O'Malley, one of Taylor's old roommates, and a bunch of people that are, some of my old roommates from when I was in grad school in the 90s, it wants to come, and it was just a younger, and if Taylor comes too, it changes the complexity a lot, because then you got a younger person who's really good, because like right now, last time I went, at 23, I was on the podium for my age group, But and then we had on the Max Elite team, Max was on the podium. He won his age group, and then Bruno won his age group too in the 35, 39, I think, and maybe 40, 44. But yeah, but if you get Taylor, then that's 30, 34 age group to have someone win there, and that's potential maybe for the overall too. So it'd be to have someone his quality is makes the whole, because we've got some people who are just having fun, not super competitive.
Yeah, so, like if I went, that would be me.
Yeah, well, actually, one of the people, Paul Dickinson, you know Paul, don't you know Paul?
Right, yeah.
So he said this year he wants to go back and race. So last time he just run, basically, Now he said he's toying with the idea of actually racing this time. So you can do either one, And I always think one time this guy Roger Smith came, and he had never even had a license, so he had to take out a license to be able to go, because you do need a domestic license at least to be able to go to it. But one day he said when he went years ago, he goes, the wine and cheese at rest stop number 3 was particularly good. And I'm like what? Wine and cheese at rest stop? They have wine and cheese at rest stop? Because they also hand you bottles when you go through the rest stops too. So it's like
you can ask for a bottle of wine or a water bottle.
Yeah, but if you stop, you can actually get more. So it's an experience that you can enjoy whether you're super competitive or not.
All right, that sounds good. Well, we're going to wrap up our birthdays, wrap up this podcast. And I don't know your schedule coming up. I'm
traveling quite a bit, but I should be able to make the podcast. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll look forward to talking again. So the birthday list. So we're going on the 19th of September, because it's past midnight in Europe, where we get our birthday list from the Pro Cycling Stats website. And you had one from the 18th though that related to our
last week, right? Last week was Skylar Schneider's.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, was it a couple weeks? Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Last podcast was Skylar Schneider's, and today it's Sam Schneider's birthday.
Oh, really? All right. Yeah. On the 18th. Yeah.
I think she's 32, if I remember right. So
yeah, I just read the article about Skylar though wanting to race again with her sister this year, because she's signed to go back over to Europe, and she's racing for SD Works next year, back where she was. Yeah, so she's going to be back in Europe next year. She's got the racing itch to do more and try to get to the Olympics in Los Angeles 2028. So yeah, so Skylar's going back to Europe, but today we're celebrating her sister Samantha's, and they're both super successful again this year racing, and they're racing for.
They have a bread shop that they make bread on the side too. So
right.
So it means that Skylar goes back over to Europe. Sam's gonna be left running herself. So yeah. But no, she's one of my Facebook friends, so I saw that it was her birthday and wished her a happy birthday. But we'll wish her a happy birthday today, because it is her birthday. But our list though, number 1,
Damiana Cunego,
only 43, but he was, he's way ahead of the points of second place. Gerald Kolek was really good too, but because Cunego, he was, a little controversial.
Cunego or Cunego, a little bit. 3-time Giro Lombardia winner, Giro d'Italia winner.
Yeah. When he was really young. When won the Giro d'Italia in 2004, he was
20 years ago, so he was 23.
Yeah, he was very young. Yeah. I think I actually have that one on DVD.
Wow, Jose Azevedo, he was another rider. 51 now that was in the Postal Service squad for Discovery. He actually 1 year Postal Service, then Discovery. So he raced and assisted in some of the Lance Armstrong years.
Yeah.
Alex Aramburu, though. Alex Aramburu, the first rider that's still active on the list. So. Spaniard. He won the Tour of Limousin overall. A bunch of seconds. He's second at the Eschborn Frankfurt race where I was this year.
That's video. And then Michael Freeman.
Yeah, I saw Michael Freeman. 42. Yeah,
he's pretty far up on the list too. He won the GC at the Tour of Korea.
Yeah,
he was fourth at the Tour of Elk Grove, which is funny because Elk Grove was a UCI race at one point. So it was a stage race, and it was all crits, but you can't have an all crit stage race. So they made them long enough they could count them as circuit races.
Circuit race.
So I think actually one of them did have a crit one year, and the UCI made an exception and allowed a crit to be in a stage race. But normally you can't have a crit in a stage race. So that was a little bit of jostling, I think, for trying to have a UCI race in America.
All right, Amanda Carey's celebrating her birthday today. Americans on the 19th of September celebrate birthdays. Jennifer Wheeler, Caleb Klassen, Michael Chauner, and we got Lee Valetti. Well, a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
And my good friend John Seaman from high school, which I guess he's probably ridden a bike sometime, but he's not a cyclist. He's gonna returning tomorrow, his birthday on the 19th, which is today the 18th. Warren Cycling Podcast, episode 366. Yeah, it's good to catch up with you again, and we'll get back together sooner and talk more about the world.
Yeah, we have to do it maybe mid-world championships.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
thanks. Bye now.
Bye.